Okay. Hello, my lovelies. So, I'm gonna be discussing something that's kind of like a really sensitive subject for me. Something that is very hard for me to talk about and discuss because I do go through it um on a daily basis with my grandmother. Talking about Alzheimer's disease. So, um, yeah, very like it's very hard and depressing to talk about. And I was looking at my phone because I have some facts on my phone about the disease that might help some people who are out there, who might be going through it or have um, a family member that's going through it, a friend, just anyone that has been touched and affected by the disease. And it's hard, it's hard to deal with. I come over and take care of my grandmother every week, and it's just hard to kind of slowly watch them die. And it's just a harsh reality. And every time I look at my grandmother, I'm like, why my grandmother? Why anyone? Why does anyone have to go through that? It's like a really bad disease. It's up there with cancer and stuff like that. So, and I'm just gonna read these facts to you guys. And for those of you that aren't going through it, don't have a family member or anyone that you know has it, if you just want to support people and be there for people that have friends and family and stuff like that going through it, all you have to do is you could even look up stuff on Alzheimer's. You could do a walkathon for Alzheimer's. You could donate if you have the cash to help try to find a cure for the disease. Like there's all kinds of ways you can help that don't necessarily involve money if you don't have any, because I know times are hard. But just even doing research, just looking up and becoming more aware of Alzheimer's and knowing what it does is a help. And for those of you out there who might be going through it and it's hard for you, because it's hard for me too. It's definitely something that's hard to go through, but just know that as long as you're there and you do a little something to help, even if it's hard for you, even if you're not a full-time caregiver or, whatever, anyone that's going through it, just know that you're not alone. And I know it's hard, but hopefully one day they'll find a cure and we won't have to lose our loved ones to such a harsh, terrible disease. So I'm gonna read these facts. Um, I got them offline because I don't want to just say stuff like I know about Alzheimer's, but I don't want to just be on here saying things that may or may not be true. Um, so yeah, let's see. This is just quick facts. It says Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the United States, um, which is very, very sad. I think it's very unfortunate that pretty much once you get it, it's terrible that it has to take lives. Like I mean, I just wish there wasn't any disease or anything like that to where people can get sick. So sorry, I was looking at my cat. um More than 5 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's. By 2050, this number could rise as high as 16 million. That's very heartbreaking. I hope and pray that by 2050 the number has gone down, that we as people, human beings, have tried to come up with ways to knock that number down. We don't want the number to go up, We want people to be healthy and live healthy, full lives. This one is really, really heartbreaking to me. Every 66 seconds, someone in the United States develops the disease. And that is just knowing this stuff and knowing that other people are going through what I'm going through with my grandmother and are suffering and have to deal with that hurt and that pain. Like it makes you feel helpless. Like you take care of them. Like if you are like me and you take care of your family member or someone that has it, and even if you're like, someone that's a part of a company that goes to a house and takes care of people, or it is your family member or it is your friend, like if you're like me and go through that, like you feel so helpless. Like you help them, you bathe them, feed them, whatever they need, you know and if they're not that bad, if they can still talk to you, so you talk to them and you try to be there as best you can, but it's like you feel like you can't help them because you can't just take it away. And I wish that I could take it away from my grandmother and have our talks like we used to. And, my grandmother was a nurse and she took care of elderly people that were sick, people that had Alzheimer's, people that had all these things. And then when we found out that she had dementia and it was going to eventually turn into Alzheimer's, like, it's like we never thought, and you don't think that someone's ever going to get it with any disease. So it's just, it's hard. So, um, more than 15 million Americans provide unpaid care for people with Alzheimer's or other dementias. In 2016, these caregivers provided an estimated 18.2 billion hours of care valued at over 230 billion. The next one is 2017. Alzheimer's and other dementias will cost the nation 259 billion. By 2050, these costs could rise as high as 1.1 trillion. Again, like I said about the other one that said the numbers would rise of people that would get the disease, if we can really work hard and work together, hopefully we can just knock the prices down, the numbers down, and help people out. 35% of caregivers for people with Alzheimer's or other dementias report that their health has gotten worse due to care responsibilities, compared to 19% of caregivers for older people without dementia. So, my mom wanted me to be a caregiver, but I couldn't do it. As much as I love to help people, and I have like a big heart, and that is my problem. I love helping anyone I can. If I have money, I give it to anyone in need, anything like that. But my heart's too big for that. Like, I want to be a vet, and I'm like scared to do that because if I ever have to, like, which, it'll happen, put an animal down, and, animals that come in sick or have like anything wrong with them, like, that's just like something I really can't handle. I'm just like afraid. I don't want to start crying in front of people that bring their animals in and they're going to be like looking at me like I'm crazy, and I can't help it. It's just the kind of heart that I have, and I'm very sensitive, very emotional, and I wear my emotions and feelings and my heart out there on my sleeve with pride. And sometimes, you know, it's not a good thing because if I like try to take care of someone, you know, I couldn't do it. And people that work in a hospice and stuff like that, I could not do that. Like, I remember my ex friend, her mom passed away in a hospice, and we went there to go see her before she had passed. And, like, there were all these people that I kept seeing walking around in the hallway. And, I didn't know what everyone had. I just knew they were there because they were kept there to be as comfortable as possible until they passed away. And just going there knowing that was so hard for me. And there was one lady, sorry, there was one lady that had all these bracelets like I have on my arm. She had all kinds of bracelets on, and she was in a wheelchair, I think her family was with her and a doctor or something. I'm not quite sure. Or a nurse. I don't know. I don't remember because it was so long ago. And she was talking to me and my ex friend about our bracelets, and she liked them. And I took a bracelet off, and sorry, I put it on her, and she said come back and see me, and you can give me another bracelet. And I feel bad, even though I didn't know her, and I didn't even know how much time she had. I feel bad because I never was able to get back down there to even see if she was there to give her another bracelet. And I remember she was so happy that me and my ex friend at the time, had given her our bracelets. It just made her so happy. And this lady, another lady that was in the hallway, she was walking, I guess, getting like her exercise in, and she just looked so happy. And she saw me in the hallway on the phone, and she waved at me and had like this big smile. And I couldn't help but smile back, even though I was so sad being there. Um, just knowing that they were there just waiting to pass away, and it hurt me that I knew they were in hospice, but it also kind of brought me joy to see the ones that were so happy, and the ones that were just like, I'm going home. You could just tell they were just like, I'm going home. And they were in good spirits. So I guess that kind of helps me feel um, a little bit better. And with my grandmother, I have a cousin who I got into a fight with because I was upset and explained to her why I was down one day. And in the explanation, I had put that the stress of watching my grandmother, it can be a lot. I wouldn't stop doing it for anything in the world. But she was like, well, maybe it's time to put her in a hospice as a solution. And I'm like, I got so defensive because I'm like, she doesn't need to go to a hospice. She's not like, I don't want to say that she's not dying because with Alzheimer's, it's slowly killing her. Sorry. Like, I know that she's dying, but I don't feel like she needs to be in a hospice. I want her to stay here, and I want to take care of her, and I want her to just go peacefully in her sleep at home. I don't want to have to go to a hospice and see her like that. Because she was just like, well, once you get Alzheimer's, that's it. And she just took my hope away, what little hope that I had. Like, just making it so definite. And I'm like, you don't know anything, you don't understand what I go through on a daily basis. But I don't want to think of my grandmother as just dying because she's still here with me, and she talks, but not that well. And, she can kind of talk to you, but it's kind of like sometimes you can understand her and sometimes you can't. But I like seeing her at home, um, smiling and laughing. And when you talk to her, she laughs and she smiles. And that's what I want to see. That's how I want to remember her, is being here at home. And she just seems so carefree. But at the same time, when I think about it, I'm like, is she in pain? Like, does it hurt what it's doing to her. Sorry. I don't know if it hurts. Um, because I read something that says that your brain pretty much it shrinks and a lot of people become bedridden and they can't eat and they can't drink. It eventually takes your life from you. And I'm like, I don't want her to be in pain and she can't even tell me. I would like to think that she's not in pain. I don't want to think of her in pain. I want to think of her as happy. And I want to know that she's okay. But, and that's why I told the story about the hospice and everything. Because of what my cousin said. And she really hurt me. And we got into a big fight because she was just so heartless about it. And she was like, well, I'm just telling you the truth and just giving me all this attitude. And I'm like, you don't have to be like that. And I'm like, she's my grandmother, but she's your aunt. And for you to just say that, it really hurt me. And so I got pissed and I pretty much told her to fuck off because I don't need to hear things like that. I don't need to put my grandmother in a hospice. She's not that bad. Um, but I was young when she started to become forgetful. It was like little things. Like her keys, she had a lanyard that she would wear around her neck for her house keys and stuff. And she would be like, where are my keys? And I'd be like, Nani, they're around your neck. And it was just little things like that. And then it became bigger things. And then as the years went on, she just got really skinny. And, it was just like such a painful process to watch. Um, just to watch what my grandmother went through. So it's just hard. And it's something I deal with on a daily basis. And I don't cry about it all the time. But when I actually do sit and think about it and I talk about it, it becomes very hard for me and I become very emotional. So sorry about all the crying and hardly being able to speak, but I feel like it's better to do this on here um, and get it all out because I do hold a lot in about it. It is very hard for me. So I wanted to get back to the facts for you guys. It says 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's or another dementia. And then it says it kills more than breast cancer or prostate cancer combined. Um, and then since 2000, deaths from heart disease have. 1 second, you guys.